Hello Teddy and Lori, we are taking a deeper look at our board and going to get this prepped up and ready for repair. We're going to start by gently lifting this electrolytic fluid that is still attached to the board here. So let this flux do a lot of the work. So we'll pull off the thickest of all this. First clean face, and our PCB looks a good amount healthier here, outside of the obvious, of course. So let's go ahead and start addressing that issue. Pretty sure this is our culprit. I'm pretty sure this is the one that blew, but a couple of these seem to have blown, and it's probably the best conditioned one there. But those were anchoring down the last of that trace there, or both of those traces, I should say. We'll go ahead and remove the unhealthy traces, and then we'll go ahead and replace it with fresh copper. Unhealthy parts of our PCB have been removed. We'll go ahead and get this cleaned up again. Went ahead and laid down some new copper. We're going to go ahead and give these areas that I repaired some time to cure, and let that really tack on and get its cure strength. We drilled the holes to this damaged line. Just gonna quickly check continuity here, make sure that we're able to get across with current on the repairs that we just did. No problems. We've got this tiny one up here. No problems. Just notice this tiny trace here. It's probably needing to connect to here. Peel back the copper I laid down a little bit because I didn't notice this earlier. And the reason I didn't notice this earlier is just because this area was so damaged over here that I didn't even clock that there was something coming this way. So I'm going to try and see if I can kind of confirm that this is where that line needs to go. Went ahead and tinned our lines. That's going to help with rust protection since this area was damaged before, and it's also going to help make sure that there's a good continuity of current with the new laid down pads and traces that we laid down here. One last test before I overlay with the protective layer. Here's our PCB after epoxy curing here. Here's all our new parts for installation. Let's go and get started. We want to replace TL431. Replacing this component. There we are. After cleanup, we'll install thermal materials and make sure all that stays nice and cool. Here's our bulk capacitor, rated for 500 volts. Should be a good upgrade. Going to replace our shorted inline bridge rectifier. Accidentally broke the fuse clip here. That's my fault, so we're going to go ahead and replace that with an upgraded one at no additional charge. Replace all of our capacitors here. All of these are new. And then our caps here where we had the char damage. Underneath that, we went ahead and added some structural integrity with some epoxy underneath this and filled in the gaps. And then we also potted these down. You can see that they're potted onto the sides to give them some structural strength and keep them from moving. And all this looks good. Upgraded a resistor to replace our burned one. This resistor is an upgrade, but it's also significantly bigger than the old one. So I'm just going to stand it like you see here, just to make sure that we got plenty of clearance for the main heatsink and the components that would be still attached to that.